Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to The Walk. Today is Tuesday, August 1st, and we're continuing to talk about what happens when there's a demonic influence that's going on. So today's is, the thing we're looking at today is a little bit more subtle. Sometimes we doubt whether or not it really is a demon because it is so subtle, and that's in James 3, starting in verse 13. And it says, "Who is wise and understanding among you? By his good conduct, let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom." So one thing to really keep in mind here is the fact that showing your works is not your salvation. It is never, ever, ever works-based. It is faith-based. But when your good conduct and the things that you do for the Lord are done in the meekness of wisdom, you're giving all the glory to God. The glory does not go to you when you do something really well. You are being wise and showing understanding of your place in the relationship between you and God. He's the King of Kings. He's the Lord of Lords. You are the servant. Then we get to verse 14. "But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth." As I think that through, bitter jealousy, selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. How could we possibly have selfish ambition and bitter jealousy unless we are of the opinion that God has held out on us in some way? How can we be jealous of another person and be like, well, where's that portion for me, God? You're assuming that God has held something back. And from day one in this series, we have been talking about that. That is something that demons do. This jealousy, this selfish ambition, yeah, it could be coming from you, but the more likely source is it's a little bit you and a whole lot of demon. And we've got to be aware of that. Verse 15, "This is not the wisdom that comes from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, demonic." Right there's the proof in the pudding. It is earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. There's a wonderful book. I think the author's name is John de Bevere, but I wish I had that right in front of me. I'm reading it right now. It's called Bait of Satan. And it's all about how Satan uses those feelings of offense and being left out and God holding out on you. Those are the weapons that Satan uses most often. Verse 16, "For where jealous and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice." What is Satan's whole purpose? To tear apart what God is doing, which means he has to have that disorder. He has to have those vile practices. He's going to use that selfish ambition and jealousy. Verse 17, "But the faith that is from above is pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere." I see a list there, so I'm going to count that up. Pure, peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. That's the number 8. The number 8 points to Christ. Boom, right there. When you've got those things in your focus, and that's what you're driven towards, is that peaceableness, that purity, that being full of mercy and good fruits. Why? Not for your glory, but all for his. That is where you get to verse 18, where it says, "And a harvest of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace." Don't let those thoughts that God is holding out on you take over, because it is a demonic influence. Be aware of it. Take those thoughts captive and say, nope, I'm not going to let my brain go down this road. I am going to stay humble and I'm going to stay focused on glorifying Christ, so that when others see me and they see what I'm doing, they're seeing the love of Jesus Christ rather than what Maggie's doing. It's all about putting the focus on Jesus. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.